Hello students, welcome to the lecture of business ethics, and after this lecture we will be able to learn following objectives. Discuss the values, morals, level of business ethics, explain the myths of business ethics, discuss the relationship between values, morals and ethics, describe the ethical decision making. So starting with introduction of business ethics. Basically, ethics is derived from Greek word ethikos, meaning custom or character. Ethics is a code of behavior considered correct. In any organization, from top management to employees, at all levels, ethics is considered as everybody's business. It is not just only achieving high level of economic performance, but also to conduct one of the business most important social challenge, that is ethically, at the same time simultaneously correctly. What are the ethical problems which arise in business and how to solve them, or what can be done about them, are explained in the module. So the problem in a business are multifold. Many of the vendors offer kickbacks to the buyers for the purchase of their goods. These bribes are many times hefty, and within a short period the buyers make plenty of money. The fact nowadays is managers spend more time in babysitting than managing. Why all this happening? This is all unethical behavior happening around the internal world of business and organization. Rather, develop a collaborative environment where people work together, not against each other, is the ethical behavior in any organization, which gives positive environment in the organization and helps to achieve personal as well as organizational goal for any corporate organization. Coming to the values of business ethics, values are abstract ideals and shapes an individual's thinking and behavior. Values are general in term referring to those things which people regard as good, bad, right, wrong, desirable, justifiable, etc. We can speak of truth values, true and false, and value judgments, which are statements about what is valued sound, skilled. It is useful to distinguish between technical, prudential, and moral values. Businesses are driven by values. Values determine what business people do, how others react. Values are potent source of conflict as well as cooperation. Students, values control and self-control. Through values, business can and does create value in the form of goods, service, employment, and much more else. Some values prevent this business and processes of business from working properly. It is also noted that in extreme cases, businesses and whole industries can cease to function because their continued existence is inconsistent with certain powerful values. Some values are more defensible and constructive than others. We can see more examples in our now corporate world like Tatas, Birlas and Bajaj. There are different types of values. Cultural norm values, which represent the expectation of business clients and customers, legislators, employees, suppliers, and public. The another is moral imperatives that override all others. Moral values are deep-seated ideas and feelings that manifest themselves as behavior or misconduct or conduct. These values are not so easy to measure or express in words. There are several examples related to this. One of this is the technical processes may be the best in the world, the profit levels may be extremely satisfactory, and danger of legal action against the company may be the least. But production processes may have harmful effect on the operators or users they are suppressed or lead about. If production processes are in breach of patent or labor practices are in breach of human rights, the ethical standing of the company is to be rated low or zero. The another type of value is controlling and more general values, like capable of judging the acceptability of the prudential and technical values. For example, a business process is technically efficient, safe or not. Efficiency values are most important, and ethical values do not imply and are not implied by each other. Business ethics, as it has developed, deal with a wide range of practical matters. It is often held, and rightly so, to be a moral and legal duty to exercise due care and skill, that is, prudential and technical values. Values are collectively representation of what constitutes a good life or a bad life. Health is a value, self-respect is value, and so are democracy, freedom. When we talk about managerial values, several studies have been conducted to study managerial values. One of the study was the international study completed by George, England in 1975, as it focused in depth the importance of goods of organization like productivity, profit maximization, employee welfare, and organizational growth, social welfare. So groups within organization like employees, customers, co-workers, superior, subordinates, stockholders, etc. and personal goal of an individual. So as I said earlier, personal goals and organizational goals should go hand in hand to attain the objective of overall corporate goal. There are three basic features of values: descriptive, normative and analytical. Descriptive is something which is used for is ethics. Normative is something which is used for ought to be ethics, and analytical is something wherein we thought about why ethics. So, there are criteria for accepting values. There are values required to be optimized, not to maximize and not to minimize. When we talk about values, personal values, as seen earlier, refer to a conception of what an individual or group regards as desirable. A value is a view of life and judgment of what is desirable that is very much part of person's personality as a group's moral. Ethics and business strategies. Yes, personal value and ethics are important for all human beings. So definitely whenever we talk about business strategies, it is most important that how the person is holding his values and principles. What are the beliefs and morals he is keeping with himself. When we talk about morals and business ethics, law is a dynamic entity since the rules prevalent now will change after some period. Several changes have already occurred regarding employment, pollution, etc. Moral standards are first observed as a child from family, friend and various societal influences such as temples, churches, schools, televisions, magazines, musics and associations. As the person grows up, experience, learning and intellectual development may lead the maturing person to revise these standards. So there are characteristics that distinguish moral standards with standards. Moral standards are associated with special emotions and a social vocabulary. Moral standards deal with matters that we think can seriously injure or seriously benefit human being. Moral standards are not established or changed by the decision of particular authoritative bodies. Moral standards to be preferred to other values including self-interest. Moral standards are based on impartial considerations. And when we talk about morality, it is standards that an individual or a group has about what is right and wrong, good and evil. Like ethics, morality is similar, and it prevails in and many times considered a synonym of ethics. Moral means behavior. Moral standard examples could be integrity is good, dishonesty is bad. It is right to tell the truth and wrong to endanger the lives of others. This can usually be expressed as general rules of statement such as always tell the truth, it is wrong to kill the innocent people, etc. Moral values, these are usually expressed as statement describing objects or features of objects that have worth, such as honesty is good, anger is bad. So we can find that Gandhi and J.R.D. Tata, who have certain set of qualities like honesty, truthfulness, sincerity, generosity, transparency, cooperation, integrity, strong willpower, etc. And all these values and morals help them to build their society on the higher position, as all we can see the Tatas. Morals are one's personal guiding principles. Ethics are the four keys that those morals are applied to decision. Moral implies conformity with the generally accepted standards of goodness or rightness in conduct or character. It is generally used to describe who people are. Now, coming towards, there are various disciplines wherein ethics matter. When we talk about business ethics, yes, we have to look for different departments, or rather say different groups in any organization which works together. Example, marketing, human resource management, information technology, finance. So there are several ethical aspects which needs to be considered in marketing area. Marketing consists of the performance of business activities that direct the flow of goods and services from producers or manufacturers to consumer or user. A number of distinct functions incoming under this broad characterization, which includes product development, distribution, pricing, promotion. So all these different areas of marketing needs to take care ethical behavior and consumer rights to maintain the peace and harmony in the field of marketing. The laws and regulations are generally designed to protect the consumer from unethical practices by businesses. These laws recognize that consumers have certain basic rights in the marketplace. However, some unethical practices are just one step short of being unlawful and are therefore overlooked by the regulatory agencies. American Marketing Association has established a code of ethics to provide guidelines for ethical conduct. It says in part that marketers shall uphold and advance the integrity, honor and dignity of the marketing professions by being honest in serving consumers, clients, employees, suppliers, distributors and the public. One of the example under the marketing is segmentation strategies reflect social heterogeneity, yet marketing seems able to adapt to this complexity reasonably well. It would be very unperspective and probably unsuccessful marketing manager who did not recognize the fact that markets of the 90s will differ from this of the 70s or 80s. Change and adaptation are not new to him. Coming to the ethical aspects in human resource management. Human resource management is an area where in interpersonal relationship, communication and Conversation between individual, group and organization is very important. When we talk about human resource management and ethics, yes, the privacy is the freedom for public attention. So, we value privacy as so high and it ought to be protected as a right. We desire to have a sphere of our life in which others do not possess certain information about us. Warren and Brandels holds the privacy is the right to be let alone. The aim of privacy laws, they taught, should be protect the privacy of private life and justice view regarding the birth control case. So it is very important to take care of the privacy of your employees as well as customers. When we talk about human resource management, parenting and socialization is again one important area. Another area is psychological expectations of employees. A wide variety of individual, a wide variety of group, a wide variety of work environment and a wide variety of societal factors. These are all included in HRM. One of the example is institutional theory tells us that existing practices in other organizations in a society have to be considered while planning and managing HRM program because this become the norm in the minds of employees with respect to what should be. Institutional pressure or forces may reflect national culture as well. HRM practices of a nation like Taiwan or Korea can be significantly different from US and India because of cultural differences. So also Japan's with USA. There is a clear distinction between managers, employees and managers in the area of human resource management system and practices in all or most countries. There are many Chinese companies and overstaffed. Expensive for them in providing extensive training plus housing plus health and medical care plus other benefits because of there is a huge population over in China. Now there are several ethical implications and variations in HRM practices. Type of people of the organization hires, carelessness of hiring who are trustworthy, dishonest people very ambitious, achievement oriented, wealth oriented. What behaviors do the performance appraisal and compensation systems encourage? Example, results at all cost irrespective of the means used to achieve them. Okay, so students, coming towards the ethical aspect of information technology. Again, information technology is important area wherein there are several rules, regulations designed to maintain the ethical dilemma in information technology. Gaining competitive advantage by the use of IT may involve unethical or even legal actions. To monitor the activities of other companies and may invade the privacy of individual. As already said, ethics is a branch of philosophy that deals with what is considered to be right and wrong. The spread of IT has created many new ethical situations. Issues of company monitoring electronic mail is supported by only 47% of readers of Information Week. 53% disagree. There are major differences even with companies and individuals with respect to what is right and wrong. So also with different countries, what is unethical is one culture may be perfectly acceptable to others. The diversity of IT applications and the increased use of the technology have created many ethical issues. An attempt to organize these issues into framework was undertaken by Manson in 1986. He said, there is a privacy 1 which conclude collection, storage and dissemination of information about an individual. Accuracy 2, authenticity, accuracy of information. Then property 3, that is ownership, value of information. and accessibility 4, that is right to access information, and payment of fees to access it. Again, in IT, there are several security threats. Information system have many components which are at several locations. It is therefore this is vulnerable to many potential hazards like accidental, intentional, etc. There are specific threats like loss, theft of corruption of data, inappropriate use of data, then theft of equipment, errors in handling, entering, processing, equipment malfunctions, accidental damage of computer resources, restriction of viruses and similar attacks. And the last is ethical aspects in finance. So, finance is again very important area wherein ethics needs to be followed. As we all know, there are several scams is done because of wrong information spreaded to stakeholders in financial matters, which creates very huge theft to any organization. So yes, ethical aspects in finance, there are several rules and regulations which are bonded by government, which required to be followed by each and every organization to maintain the ethical dilemmas in financial program. So yeah, here we conclude with business ethics is related to moral judgment, ethical system, moral rules. Yes, business ethics leads to rules, policies, goals, actions and compliance morals. Some of the points to be kept in mind are business ethics. Ethics is a matter of education. It is a dilemma or are possible. Either an ethical person or not, downward thinking and business is a game. These are the points for every individual to take care. Thank you.